go. Looks like some issues with the start line, so we're going to do it the old school way with the drop of the hands. Toshiki Yoshiyoka as the higher qualified driver. Qualified third is going to be leading. Tony Angelo, qualified 30th, is going to be giving chase. You see that power from Yoshiyoka pulling away from Tony Angelo. Wow, some amazing angle from Yoshiyoka. Tony Angelo completely off the course. I think that was 4 wheels off. Yoshioka's going to finish out this course online with some good angle. Looked like Yoshiyoka dumped some extra angle at the end of the bank that perhaps Tony Angelo wasn't prepared for. Well, Angelo almost got lost out there.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Could give that guy a map.
Like, just look at Yoshioka's speed. That's the defining factor here. No, I don't think anyone's going to be able to hang with him if he can consistently do this each run. I mean, I was full sure he was going off course right here, but he's just so fast entering his outer clip, but managed to hold it together. Oh my God!
Almost
puts
backwards.
A ton of angle on the yellow line. I mean, that's insane. The craziest line off the bank I've seen all weekend.
Looked like he scraped one of the banners off the bank and left it in the power alley.
While he was on maximum angle and on the perfect line. I mean, that's just unreal with huge speed.
Maybe something we could talk about. I noticed Yoshiyoka doesn't have any end plates on his spoiler.
Yeah, it looks a little smaller this weekend, yeah.
But, you know, that's something that you had some end plates on some of your cars, and then some of the cars that didn't have end plates. How does that affect your grip?
I never mess around with end plates too much, but with the GT wings, they definitely affect cars on banks like this. You'll notice Daigo, when Daigo's removed the giant wing that he's well known for. And Yoshiyoka has a much smaller wing, but he's still, like, by far I think the fastest around this first part of the track. Like, this is just, Tony was trying to catch up, and I really don't think
Here's the banner,
could have matched that.
And there it goes.
Yeah. A little present for the photographers down there in the power alley, but that was the craziest line or run even off the bank I've seen all week.
When you drove here, I think it was 2010, you were following Chris Forsberg, and he came off that bank and dumped a ton of angle that maybe you weren't expecting.
And I did exactly, well, I don't know if Tony hit the ball, but yeah, I tried to match it and tag my rear bumper and stuck the front end. So it's so, you're coming around this bank so fast, it's very hard to, visually. When you're leading, it's hard enough to see where your clipping point is, but when you're following, it's really difficult to figure out where you've got to slow down, and that's definitely one of the hardest parts of this track is getting off the bank cleanly, keeping some proximity without hitting someone or letting them go too far. It's just you're coming around there so fast, everything is happening so fast that it's hard to put it all together. But I don't think anyone's done it faster than Yoshiyoka, and Tony just. There's not many people that can match that anyway, but Tony was having a hard time straight and down and off course, so he's got it all to do.
Of course, Tony Angelo driving that rear-wheel drive converted Scion TC, formerly piloted by Ken Gushi. So that's kind of a hand-me-down car for Tony. Stepped down from the judging panel this year to go back to driving, doing what he loves. So good to see Tony pursuing his career, going the way he wants to go. With everything, he's doing pretty decently overall. Still getting used to the car, still getting it back in the swing of competing.
Yeah, new motor for this weekend, I believe. He's making good power again, and but had a transmission issue on Thursday, I think it was. I saw him taking a tranny out of the car, so hasn't been the easiest of weekends for him. Looks like we got a slight delay going on the start line right now, so
not sure what's going on here. We got three more battles, half of this one, 3 more full ones, and another half with the Ryan Turk and Robbie Nishida come together. So more than halfway through. Again, we're going to have a quick halftime break. We'll have some great guests up to talk about the weekend so far. I think now's a good time to thank our sponsors. Achilles Tire, Hankook Tire, Nitto Tire, KENDA Tire, Nexon Tire, and Yokohama Tire. So we're here now. Robbie Nishida is going to be unable to move on. So Ryan Turk will get the win. Ryan Turk's going to be facing against Jeremy Lowe, if you're keeping track at home. So unfortunate that Nishida was forced to retire from the crash. But again, I feel like that big one's still ahead of us here. Eric, you spent some time with Turk as your teammate. What do you think about him as a driver, especially this weekend? I feel like he's definitely stepped it up this weekend overall.
Yeah, no, Turk's an awesome driver. He has definitely a very different style to me anyway. But he just he flicks the car around a lot. You know, uses the angle and drives with the throttle a lot more than I would. And you know, he had huge success with Solstice, obviously second in the championship. They had, you know, didn't get any huge results last year with the Camaro, but certainly looked really good in it. I'm now back in an S13 that he's really familiar with. He's on Max's tires, of course, which was the tire he got that second place in the online championship with. So you know, he's definitely you know, an all new setup this year, so he's taking some time to adjust. But he's definitely one of the most talented guys out there, and you can't count him out, even though he's underpowered compared to the bigger guys. There's every chance that we could see him making progress today in the championship.
Not too sure what the delay is. We're up here at the top. You see the NASCAR at the top of your screen?
Yep.
The guys in that booth over there, that's the judges right above the E and Evergreen.
Driver, 6 more. Yeah, I think, 3 more.
So, see a couple of open seats up there. That's actually the spotters area, so sometimes some of the teams leave that area after their runs in top 32 to start wrenching on the car for top 16, but otherwise this is a pretty packed house and still extremely early in the process. Great sunny weather here in the northwest, probably about 82,
yeah, nice day today, because yesterday
degrees.
morning we all woke
Good
up
breeze.
to a ton of rain and really cold weather yesterday, which had potential to mess with qualifying, but thankfully it did dry out for in time for FD qualifying. Everyone got dry runs, but today it's a different story altogether. Nice and sunny, probably about 80 degrees.
So this is a replay. This is not live action. This is a replay. The judges have requested a replay of this run. Not sure what the replay request was for, but perhaps they wanted to see if there was any tires off. Definitely more than 2 tires off for Angelo, so that should be considered a 0.
Yeah. I mean,
the start. We're getting word that the start is what they want to see. So let's see. It's a live shot. We're gonna go back to the replay to see the start. I think a little bit too far back. That was much earlier. Both cars left the line at about the same time.
Yeah, notice that we do actually have a pace cone this weekend, which is something we haven't used in FD in a while, but the nature of this track and the long running that we have, it's one of the few places that, you know, games can be played on big power cars and take a huge advantage. So I think it's good to see it back in use, and I think the drivers are told that, you know, if they feel that someone has jumped the lights even and taken a jump start, they have up until the point of that cone to the side. They can put on the brakes, turn around and come back and request a restart.
So from what we've heard in the drivers meeting, again, there's that cone right between where it says Evergreen and Speedway on the straight. You have to stop by that cone in order to request a restart.
Yeah, if you
both
pass
drivers
it,
went through it, so I think that was a legitimate run.
Yeah, I think so.
We're gonna go back to the start. Tony Angelo making a big jump, try and get some distance on Yoshiyoka with less power. So Angelo initiates, starts losing his bumper, wavering a little bit there. Yoshioka closes that gap pretty well, but Angelo's got that bumper hanging out from him. Yoshioka definitely a lot closer to Angelo than when Angelo was chasing Yoshioka. Angelo finishes out the line. Yoshiyoka not far behind him. So we're gonna go back to a replay.
Yeah, I think Yoshiyoka knows that he's got a huge advantage here, so he isn't going to push it too hard. And being the faster car, he gives Tony plenty of space in the bank. Doesn't want to mess himself up. Like, huge gap, in fact. Tony tags the wall, starts dragging the bumper almost straight away, which is pretty cool. But Yoshiyoka just starts to reel him in. Tony's a really shallow line coming off into the infield. So Yoshiyoka, all he can do is follow Tony in there, and a pretty shallow line. Good, clean, smooth run by Yoshiyoka behind Tony through the infield. But I think the damage was done on the first run, really. Tony going completely off course. Yoshiyoka was just, you know, going through the motions. Nice safe run, nothing major. Should be enough to get him through to top 16.
Yeah, so one of the things that is being mentioned is that as they cross the finish line, Yoshiyoka was kind of doing a rolling burnout, didn't have a lot of angle in the front wheels, and that's something that was talked about as being either understeer or drifting straight and potentially a 0 in tandem. So we'll see what the judges say. But I think a decision has been made. Looks like it was unanimous. So despite that rolling burnout crossing the finish line, the win is going to be handed to Toshiki.